You may ask, why am I making a video about a trend that was at its peak a couple of years ago? It's simple, it's never too late to make a fun of bloggers who do weird and sometimes harmful shit to attract attention to themselves. What's up, comrades? In this video, I want to talk about who the beige moms are and why the adherence of these trends should be the focus of attention from the Committee on the Rights of the Child and psychiatrists. Beautiful, eye-catching, luxurious aesthetics with taste, or cheap flexing on socials, behind which lies a ruined childhood and endless hours in psychologist's office in the foreseeable future. Interested? Sit comfortably and bring tea, we're getting started. A short excursion for those who don't know what this natural phenomenon is in 2025. Beige mom or sad beige mom are usually used to describe a special lifestyle and way of raising kids, which have been actively broadcast in recent years on social networks like TikTok or Instagram. The peculiarity of this style lies in minimalism and environmental friendliness. Adherents of these trends try to create calm and harmonious environment without visual noise. At the same time, the name beige mom is not a subculture, as it may seem, but an ironic term that was invented in socials to describe these fashionistas whose thirst for aesthetics knows no bounds, and sometimes, specifically, does not get along with common sense. The first mass mention of the tribe of beige moms is dated by archaeologists to February-March 2022, when the war in Ukraine began. The chief of the beige moms can be considered the ex-wife of the singer Kanye West, Kim Kardashian. Although she is not the first beige mom in history, it was with her that the trend began. A few years ago, this person gave a show-off tour of her house for Vogue magazine. The peculiarity was that absolutely everything in the house, whatever you look, was decorated in minimalist design and maintained in shades of white and beige, just like a ward in a nut house for especially violent patients. And off we go, monkey see, monkey do. Even now, 3 years later, IKEA still sells white furniture in a mess, H&M still sells beige clothes, and hundreds, if not thousands of style queens began to tightly associate beige minimalism with wealth and luxury, as well as belonging to the financial elite. Now, scrolling Reels or TikTok, we increasingly see how young mothers, carried away by the trend, imitate the American Armenian star on social networks. Because in their opinion, now not only her photos on Instagram should be aesthetically pleasing, but also her house, husband, cat and kids. As you can easily guess from the above information, the essence of beige mom is the desire to create a harmonious and aesthetic lifestyle. This is achieved in 3 areas: interior, wardrobe and toys. As for the interior, the layout is next. Furniture, walls and household items should be in some sense of the word like an army barracks, namely exclusively functional, without unnecessary and complex decorative elements, such as patterns or small details, that is, minimalistic. The color should be in calm tones. This can be beige, white, cream, grey and other neutral shades, or colors close to natural, such as wood. With the wardrobe and toys, the situation is exactly the same in terms of color scheme, with a total disregard for bright and varied colors. The materials of the products are exclusively natural, such as cotton, felt, linen, wool, wood. Because of this, kids will have to forget about the usual Barbie dolls.
Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie!
Hi Barbie!
Hitler!
Hi Hitler!
Heil Hitler!
Hi Hitler!
And Hot Wheels cars. Instead, kids will have to play with plush animals and primitive educational wooden structure, as shown on the screen. Even food is sometimes affected by this, damn it. Now it is also calm and harmonious. This all is justified by the desire to raise a healthy kid with a healthy psyche. According to a widespread opinion, such a cozy atmosphere in an apartment or house allows the kid to feel safer and more comfortable, since the beige color, due to its visual similarity to natural materials such as wood, has a positive effect on the emotional background. Thus, a restraining color scheme around has a positive effect on the nervous system. A minimalist interior without visual noise also helps to increase concentration, making kid more concentrated and calm. And this is especially true for the fight against ADHD, which massively infects the younger generation A, due to binge watching to the vertical feed of socials with short videos with a minimal semantic load since day one. In addition, the presence of a beautiful and aesthetic atmosphere for a kid is not only a matter of interior design, but also an important aspect of his overall development as a person, since the environment that is attractive to our eye during the formation period can become the basis for understanding what is beautiful and what is not beautiful. And if consider that the vast majority of beige moms are millennials or early zoomers, then such a solution will be a breath of fresh air. Generation that is over 20 or even 30 years old probably remember the interiors of the 90s as well as the 2000s. Noisy, colorful, with an excessive number of details, the design has frankly become boring and has been replaced by minimalism, which has brought variety to the field of internal design. As for environmentally friendly and organic clothes with toys, everything is quite simple. Such things made from natural materials and absolutely safe for fragile immunity. Considering the information you've heard, you might get the impression that this is purely positive phenomenon without scary moments. And I'll answer these. If this topic did not have the other side of the coin, then this video would not exist. Is it logical? It is logical. In fact, I don't have kids, at least I hope so. In this regard, we will use the facts that are stated in such scientific disciplines as neurobiology and psychology. And I would like to start with the right to choose. Stubbornly dressing kids in pants and a t-shirt the color of cheesecake against their will for the sake of universal approval. Remember, beige moms, decor and third gram, mostly zoomers and late millennials, is an outright obsession and schizoid perfectionism. Absolutely every kid sooner or later comes to that very moment in life when he has his own desires. Clothes, toys and the interior of the room are no exception in this regard. Ignoring the needs of the kid during such a period by imposing your own standards without taking into account the kid's preferences is very dangerous. Thus, forbidding a kid to wear a t-shirt with Batman because it does not fit into the aesthetic of his mother, obsessed with Instagram, will suppress the kid's personality. Such beige mothers risk raising and castrated a weak-willed doll without his or her own opinion and choice in life. Such a doll, when it grows up and becomes a full-fledged member of society, will be afraid to express its own opinion due to low self-esteem, as it will consider it unimportant. Subsequently, this can develop into anxiety disorders and emotional problems. In short, it is not the happiest picture. And to avoid these obvious things, I don't need to be a damn good psychologist. It is also important to note that raising your kid with a sense of permissiveness is equally harmful, since you risk getting an impudent and ungrateful, eternally demanding parasite. The next point is the deficit of various colors, which beige mothers are so strenuously trying to achieve. Here the opinion is not so unambiguous, cause while some experts claim that raising a kid in a monochrome environment is quite acceptable, others claim that this increases the risk of raising a dumb bass. Beige is a cool color, pleasing to eye, and because of this neutrality matches well and all that. But frankly speaking, it is dead, as fat family's chances for getting laid at her prom disco. Differing colors are important in forming associative connections. At the moment of birth, a baby does not care at all what color his blanket is, but from about 3 years old, an association of color with emotions begins to develop, such as yellow is happiness, because it is sunny, and blue is sadness, because it is cold. Roughly speaking, the presence of bright color in life is vital, as they stimulate the imagination and simplify the understanding of the world. Living in a neutral world without colors, in addition to being boring and dull due to the deprivation of bright and colorful impressions, also limits the development of emotional intelligence. And by the way, this is the reason why beige moms are sometimes called sad beige moms. At such moments, I want to thank my grandfather's carpet on the wall for saving my psyche. Well, and for dessert, I would like to talk about the sterile nature. A kid with a beige childhood by default settings is accustomed to the fact that his nervous system is not irritated by anything at all. In this regard, when in contact with the environment, there is a risk of catching sensory overload from the abundance of irritants that attract attention around. But the most interesting is yet to come. In our crazy world, full of unpredictable turns, life, from time to time, throws us tests of varying degrees, which sometimes we need to solve ourselves, without moms and dads. The difficulties that we face shape our strength, teach us to overcome obstacles and learn from mistakes. With beige upbringing without any irritants, a kid can grow soy-like and unprepared for a harsh environment outside the home, which he may simply not cope with, since he is used to living in complete harmony without stress and understanding of what stress is in difficult situation and how to cope with it. Complete isolation of kids from surrounding irritants contributes to the fact that over the years they will become more and more helpless. It is naturally necessary to introduce them the difficulties of our world, and, as in situation with the right to choose, definitely moderately. In conclusion, I would like to say that the trend of being a beige mom is mostly not about aesthetic design and the health of the kids, but about show-offs and herd instinct. There is absolutely nothing bad with trends as such. We all tend to be susceptible to fashion trends to one degree or another, even if they are not the most logical. Bad is when something turns into unhealthy obsession that harms others. And in the case of beige moms, this bad can be obsession with choosing not a wardrobe for kid, but a kid for a wardrobe, in favor of fashionable picture for everyone to see on Instagram. Parents play a key role in shaping the personality of their kids, and their mistakes can have long-term consequences. Every wrong step can leave a deep mark on the soul of the kid, which we do not even know about. The pursuit of hype can unexpectedly turn into complications and lead to problems with interaction and perception of the world outside the perimeter of the room. The mental may also get troubles, which will make the once beige kid sit and walk through the consequences of being raised by such a caring mother with a psychologist. That is why it is extremely important for young parents to be aware of the responsibility for their actions towards their kids. Of course, draw your own conclusions and final decisions on how to raise kids. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you also eat with your mouse. See you soon, comrades!